Hey everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order by this weekend. Your pre-orders are due Sunday around 6 o'clock, so you don't miss out on any of this comic goodness we're about to talk about. So head on over to infinityflux.net. Right now, you can follow along, place your pre-orders, and yeah, be ready in a few weeks when the books arrive. Just a reminder, everything you pre-order, you get 10% off of as an extra little bonus, and we always appreciate it. So, yes, we do that every time a pre-order comes in. It's not weird at all. Wherever we are.
Yeah, wherever we are.
We take a moment of silence. Yep. So this is another big week. It was hard to really cut it down. But we've got a lot of great number ones and continuations of series. And I feel like it's only going to get bigger as the year goes on. Because this is still DC light. But we are about to hit...
in a couple weeks, it's going to be like nothing but DC probably. Because they've got so much cool stuff coming out in October, November.
Yeah.
This is the calm before the storm.
So let's get into this week's stuff, starting with our featured comics, starting with another X title.
This is Storm #1. This is the next of the From the Ashes era X-Men books, and this is Storm in a solo title. This is written by Marewa Aodel, and the art is by Lucas Wernick. We don't know a whole lot about the grander story of this series yet, but we do know in this first issue, there is a major meltdown at a nuclear facility in Oklahoma City. And that's going to draw Storm from her sanctuary in Atlanta into a moral conflict that will test her iron resolve. So that's pretty much all we know right now, but it is a solo Storm book. You know, Storm is... She's on fire. Is she part of like the... She's on the Avengers now. You mentioned, you know, are we going to see that come into play in this? Yeah, so, you know, Storm fans, grab this up. So this is our A cover. We have a Ji-Young Lee cover. There is a Jerome Opeña gold foil variant. Is the lightning going to be foil, I'm guessing?
Really nice.
There's a logo variant, in case you don't know what the Storm logo looks like. There is a Lucas Wernick variant, so that is your interior artist right there. And then there is a Marco Cicchetto Doom variant. And I don't think Doom's going to be in this, but this is the next, you know, like series of variant covers. Are there any more with Doom on the covers?
I don't think so. I guess Storm is kicking it off because I don't remember seeing any more of these.
It'd be funny if there are no other, just this. We just felt like putting Doom on there.
It's a series of one.
Yeah.
Next up, a new book from Dark Horse, and this is one I've been very excited about. This is Turtles of Grayskull, or Masters of the Universe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover. And this is going to be by Tim Seeley, and the art is by Freddie Williams II. And so this may look a little familiar if you've been out and about at a Target or a Walmart or something, because they have been coming out with figures from this, the 5.5 figures of Ninja Turtles characters in the universe of He-Man. So you can see Michelangelo right there sporting a wig that is very He-Man-esque. It's a real cool mashup, but it's mostly the Turtles in the Masters of the universe, and those toys came with a mini comic. Well, this is not the same as those mini comics. This is almost like an expanded version of what those are. So in this, the Turtles spy Shredder making a deal with a mysterious skeletal mage. And of course we know that is Skeletor, so something's going to happen, and it's going to pull the Turtles into Eternia, where they'll have to team up with the Masters of the Universe. But the weird thing that happens is He-Man is missing. Now, I feel like I have a little bit of an idea about what happens in this, because if you see the toys, and part of what they say here, because it says apparently when you mix mutagen with demonic magic, you get a nasty purple poison, and it's brought Eternia to the brink of chaos. So the He-Man figure in this wave is almost like a hulked out version of He-Man, but he's like clear purple.
Yeah.
And there's a Ram Man, but he actually looks like a ram.
Okay.
And he's kind of purple. So some of the Eternian characters have been transformed into kind of monstrous mutagen versions of them. So this is going to be a blast. This is a great team. I believe this is the same team that did the Masters of the Universe Thundercats crossover. So you're in for a
That's
good
right.
time. This is going to be great.
They should have just called this Matt's Childhood #1.
Smashed all together.
Yeah.
This is what the toy box looked like when you
Oh,
look
for
straight
sure.
down
Gosh,
into
there's so
it.
many just playing with them together. This is brilliant.
Yeah, so we've got some great covers. This is Freddie Williams' second cover. This is what your interior art looks like, which is going to be fantastic. We also have a Stan Sakai variant, which is really, really cool. And we have this Zirit variant, which you've got the turtle van there with the
Isn't it the Rotor?
Roton.
Roton,
The
yeah.
Roton without the overcasing. There's two versions of it. But just, you're going to have fun with this.
I had all of those toys: the Turtle Van, the Roton Skeletor, the Turtles, and I would play with them together. Like, this is, oh my gosh.
I love the Roton.
Yeah.
You roll it and it spins.
And it makes that clicky sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, next up is Spirits of Vengeance #1. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries written by Sabir Perzada and the artist by Sean Hill. And we don't know a lot about this one either. Marvel, a lot of times, is pretty stingy with their information in the solicitations. But this is going to feature the return of Vengeance, the big, Ghost Rider villain from the 90s. You know, he had like the sort of the purple kind of skull and the orange flame.
He has like
and
saber-toothed tusks.
yeah, he's got a big jaw, and he's like bigger and bulkier. So that villain, that character is going to return, and he's going to seek vengeance against Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch. This is also going to feature other Ghost Riders like Robbie Reyes, and shoot, I didn't write down the other names. There's another one whose name I don't remember. The Hood is going to be in there because he just wrapped up being Ghost Rider. So Vengeance is going to come out with a vengeance against all of these other Ghost Riders. And it should be really cool. So this is our A cover. There's a Derek Chu, Kushala, that's the other one, Kushala. There's an E.M. Geist cover. There is a Scotty Young cover, which I love because he's on a flaming bicycle. I just want a comic of that. And there is a Vicentini Stormbreakers variant as well. Well, that's Robbie Reyes right there.
Well, and next up we have a #2, but we're so excited about it, we want to feature it. This is Wolverine Revenge #2. And #1 of this miniseries comes out this coming week. We'll be going over it on our Monday show to tell you a little bit more about what to expect. But this is, of course, by Jonathan Hickman with art by Greg Capullo. And we still don't know a lot of the details of this. We just do know it's Wolverine he's got revenge on the mind.
Yeah.
And something has happened where Sabretooth, Deadpool, and Omega Red will have to pay for something they did to Wolverine. It says he had a near-death experience. I don't know if at the hands of them or whatever, but it looks like those are people on his hit list now on his claws. And, this is going to be, they say, one of the most brutal Wolverine stories you've ever read. And, with Capullo doing the art, that is definitely going to be true.
Yeah, we know Colossus is going to feature at least partly. I don't know how much, but he's in there somewhere. It looks like we've seen some preview pages. It looks like maybe he's in the Savage Land.
Yeah.
Shredding up some dinosaurs. I mean, this is going to be phenomenal.
This is going to be so good. And, of course, we've got our A cover here by Greg Capullo. We have a Rose Besh variant. I like his ears on there. They are crazy big. We have this Stephen Platt variant. And a reminder, this also has a polybagged variant that is going to be more over the top, more violent, all of that. And we will do like what we did on the Blood Hunt issues. We will read both of them and kind of report. This is, you get X amount more in the red band than the other version. I'm sure it's going to be the same way where it's going to be a couple of maybe different panels, maybe an additional page or two, that kind of thing. But if you want, I'm guessing the ultimate edition of this, you'll want to grab the red band polybag version.
Which is going to be $1 more than the regular version. And next this is The Missionary #1. This is a new book from Distillery, written by Ryan Stegman, and the art is by Jason Howard. We talked about this probably 2 or 3 weeks ago on our Comics to Pre-Order in a Flash video, and then the FOC date got pushed to this weekend. So if you ordered it back then, all good. If you didn't, you have a little bit more time to order it. So this is an action-packed story. This is going to feature demons, gun battles, and a friendship for the ages. It's about that guy on the cover right there. His name is Bryce Hunter. He is a very religious man, but one day he catches his wife. He catches his. I think I meant to say he catches his wife in bed with an elder from his church, being intimate, I think is what it said, with an elder from his church. He catches his wife cheating on him, basically. And this is going to send him spiraling into the hands of a demonic entity named Uvidus. But instead of rejecting the possession of this demon, he actually accepts it. You know, like I said, he's a very religious man, but he wants to be bad. He's had enough. You know, his wife left him or whatever, and he wants to be sort of bad. And so he accepts this demonic possession, but the demon possessing him wants to actually be a little bit less than evil. So it's like you know, hot and cold, and they're going to meet in the middle to form, you know, warm.
He's gonna be a warm hero.
He's going to be a warm demon. But before they can use their new partnership to finally live a little, the world's greatest exorcist sees Bryce as his greatest challenge, and there's a murderous group of demons that are going to break free from hell and threaten to reshape Earth into a kingdom over which they rule. So it sounds like Bryce is going to sort of maybe have to him. It almost kind of sounds like, you know, Eddie Brock and the symbiote.
Yeah.
They form this like bond, and then they fight other things. And it sounds like Bryce and this demon are going to form this bond and have to take on these other demons. And yeah, so it sounds really cool. I don't know how many issues this is going to be. Probably, I mean, most of the distillery books have been 3 or 4 issues. So yeah, so that sounds really cool. So this is our A cover, and we have a cover by Ryan Stegman, who is not the artist, but he's the writer. But that looks really cool. Now, there's also a Scotty Young variant. Now, there was a little bit of a snafu with this because of Distillery going exclusive with Diamond as their distributor right around the time that this is up for pre-order. So the Scotty Young cover is not available on our website to just click and order. But if you want it, please email us at is it info
at infinityflux.net.
Yeah, send us an email if you want this cover right here, because like I said, it's not, you can't like click it. It's not on the website to be able to click. And there's also going to be a red band version of this as well. It's going to be $1 more. It's going to have more not safe for work content. It's going to be more violent. And it says it's going to end on a breathtaking double page spread that takes the single page splash page ending from the regular version, and it's going to expand it to show you the off-camera carnage that in the single version, in the regular version, you just have to leave up to your imagination. This is actually going to show you what's going on. So basically, kind of like Marvel, you know, it's going to be a red band version, but this is probably going to be even more over the top than the Marvel stuff. However, because of that snafu, this is not on our website to order either. So again, if you want this one, please email us at info@infinityflux.net and just let us know that you want this version or the Scotty Young cover. So apologies for the error. It's just the way that our website reads off of the distributors, but because the way Distillery changed right at the exact same time, it just caused a little bit of a hiccup. So,
but you can still get it.
Yeah, you can still get it.
All you have to do is email us.
Yeah.
We'll put together a whole list, and we'll get you covered
Yeah.
when we place the orders. I will make sure of that. So just one extra little step if you want either Scotty Young or this edition.
Because the A cover and the Stegman cover are on the website.
Yeah.
So you can get those easily. It's just these other two that need to send us an email for those.
Next up, we've got a new indie book called The Body Trade. This is by Zach Thompson, and the artist is Jock, not Jock, Jock, who did like that recent Distillery book and Batman.
Oh, yeah.
This is the other Jock, Jok, who did that book about those kids like going through hell or whatever. It's a little bit more cartoony. So this one is about...
I was like, that doesn't look like Jock.
Yeah,
Did he change his art style? I didn't even...
It's weird there's two Jocks and they both go by one name.
Yeah, that just did not register with me at all.
So this is about a guy named Kim Krillick, an ex-con, who returns to Florida to bury his estranged son. He's divorced, you know, but he wants to be better. He wants to make things right. But he discovers when he gets there an empty grave and his son's remains sold to the body trade, which is a black market of buying and selling human bodies. And it's kind of pseudo based on the truth. Like there is a little bit of this going on. And yeah, so it's kind of a neo-noir crime thriller. With a father out for revenge on what they've done to his son's body. So, sounds really cool, sounds really dark. but we'll have to see.
It really does. Like the black market for dead bodies, and
Yeah.
it's his son. Like that gets me as a dad. It's like, oh my gosh, that's rough.
Yeah. So, but if I remember this art style right, it is not cartoony, but like a little bit more it not hyper realistic.
Yeah.
It's got a little color to it and stuff, so could balance out the grimness of the story. So we've got our A cover right here, and we have a Jacob Phillips variant.
Next is Venom War Deadpool #1. This is going to be a 3-issue tie-in miniseries to the Venom War. I don't necessarily want to call it an event because it doesn't encompass the entire Marvel Universe.
Right.
It's just more or less off to the side. It's in the Venom corner of the Marvel Universe, although we are going to get Wolverine at some point and Deadpool here. But this one is Deadpool. It's written by Cullen Bunn and the art is by Rob DeSalvo. And this basically it just says that it's Deadpool versus a horde of ravenous zombiotes. And apparently those things are going to be everywhere because that's why every tie-in has whoever it is in the series dealing with these zombiotes. So it's going to be Deadpool in this one. And who has he not made so mad that they're still willing to help him? So I'm not really sure who that's going to be. But yeah, I just want to let you know that if you're trying to get the Venom War stuff, there is a Deadpool one. This is our A cover, and then there is a Dave Johnson variant. And then along with that, we also have Venom War Lethal Protectors. This is also going to be a 3-issue tie-in miniseries. This one's written by Sabir Prasada, and the art is by Luca Maresca. And this one features Silver Sable putting together a new team of Scream, Riot, Agony, Lasher, and Phage. So a team of symbiotes, basically. To steal something, but we don't know what they want to steal. But just like Deadpool, there's going to be a horde of bloodthirsty zombiotes in their way. So more Venom War stuff. We've got a couple of Venom War tie-ins coming out next Monday. I think it's Venom War Carnage #1 and Venom War Venomous #1 coming out next week. So we'll be talking about Venom War for a little while. But yeah, here are 2 more tie-ins. So this is our A cover, and then there is a Miguel Mercado variant. I love Silver Sable. I can't wait for this one.
And I really like having Cullen Bunn on a Deadpool book.
Yeah.
Because he had some. He's wrote a lot of the Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
Oh, right.
Deadpool Killustrated.
Yeah.
He has a long tenure with Deadpool.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have. I mean, how do you see this cover and not have some kind of reaction? This is Goobers #1. This is going to be by Cody Ziegler, which, speaking of Deadpool, is the current writer of the ongoing Deadpool series, and the art's by Ryan Lee. And this is a book about Clayton Lowe. He heads back to his hometown with his new friends from grad school. And so part of it seems like it's going to be the new friends from grad school meeting the old friends from hometown, and that kind of weird thing that happens when you've got these 2 groups of friends. But soon they discover something has changed in this town, and this is a town where things don't change. It's a sleepy little town. It's been the same for years, but something's changed, and it seems an infestation of body-snatching alien bugs have taken over in the splatter fest of humor and horror. So I imagine it's going to be a pretty gross-out comic.
Yeah.
Looks like they enter in through your nose, which, real fun there.
The minute I saw this cover, I instantly thought Garbage Pail Kids.
Well, you would be correct. So this is our A cover for it, and we also
oh my
have
gosh, I didn't know.
a Cahoon variant, which is a Garbage Pail Kids homage cover.
I honestly did not see that cover. That is fantastic.
And when you said that, I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
do I have a treat for you?
Next is Deadpool #6. So this isn't a #1 either, but we wanted to go ahead and put it near the top of the show because this is going to be the start of a new story arc. And Deadpool #5 comes out next week. We'll be talking about it on Monday. In that issue, I guess spoilers. I mean, they tell you in the solicitation, Deadpool has beaten Death Grip, which is the enemy that he's been fighting in this first story arc. This issue kicks off a new story arc where they're going to kill Deadpool, which I didn't think was possible, but that's been Death Grip's whole thing in this first arc is he wants Deadpool's immortality. He wants Deadpool's healing factor, whatever. And the solicitation says that something about you know, it would be crazy, you know, start of a new story arc, it would be crazy to kill him off now, right? Well, that's exactly why we're going to do it. And this story arc is going to establish Deadpool's daughter as the new Deadpool. I doubt that's going to be for very long, probably for this next story arc. Maybe she's probably going to go on some kind of quest to figure out how to bring him back. I don't know, I'm just guessing. Yeah, we wanted to go ahead and talk about this because, you know, Marvel made a big announcement about this and they've been hyping it up a little bit. So if you're interested, it is on FOC this weekend. So this is our A cover, and we have a Paco Medina Godzilla variant. And I would just love it for him to just drop him in the mouth.
Yep.
And can he survive that? Do you think he could survive getting chomped
I
up by
think
Godzilla?
so, but it wouldn't be pretty.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Deathlok 50th Anniversary Special. This is written by Justina Ireland, Christopher Priest, art by Dale Eaglesham, and others. This is much like the Iron Fist Anniversary issue we just got. This is going to be an anthology of stories, this time celebrating the lovely character of Deathlok, which I think my first exposure to him was like maybe the Marvel Legends action figure or something. Like, I'd never heard of Deathlok until then, and I got really interested. I was like, this character's crazy looking. He's like a cyborg zombie.
I think mine was the Cyborg Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the cover with the arm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a couple of different tales about Luther Manning, who first appeared in Astonishing Tales 25 back in 1974. And it doesn't say a whole lot about the stories. It says full of action, dystopian futures, filled with danger and brutal villains. I think this is cool. We haven't seen Deathlok in anything in a little while, so if you've been a Deathlok fan, this is a great celebration of the character. And I was surprised he was from that far back. He feels like, I mean, I know he didn't come around in the 90s, but he feels like what the 90s would do after, I guess it's kind of like pseudo-Terminator or that kind of thing. But we've got our A cover right here. We've got a Dennis Cowan variant. We've got a Frank Miller variant. A Nick Bradshaw variant. And that's it. Oh, there's Doom. Is that Doom in the background? Doom. Okay. But it doesn't have that little Doom logo on it.
I wonder if one of the stories is against Doom.
That would be pretty cool. Next up, we have other number ones, continuing with a bunch of number ones.
This is the Spider-Boy annual for this year, and this is continuing the Infinity Watch storyline. This is going to be part 8. Spider-Boy is joined by Multitude and Apex, who were also together in the Wolverine annual from, was it this week or last week? I think it was this week, I think.
Yeah.
So they're still together, and this time they run into Spider-Boy, and they're going to face off against a new mysterious evil that they vow to stop. And that's pretty much all that it tells us. But if you've been getting this storyline, don't miss this annual. And like I said, in all the other ones, even though this is part of one grandiose story, each issue is pretty much felt like a one and done. So if you only want the Spider-Boy, you should be fine to get it and not really be too lost. So this is our A cover. There's a Mike McCone Infinity Watch variant. I'd love to see those guys together. And there's a Taran Clark variant.
Yeah, do we know how long Infinity Watch story is? It feels like there's a lot of parts to this so far.
I think maybe 10. That I'm not too sure.
Yeah. Okay, next up we have a one-shot. This sounds interesting. This is called Commercial Space. This is a new book by Lessa Miller and Trent Miller and art by Michaela Cacciatore. And in this, they say this is for fans of The Office and Parks and Rec.
Okay,
and I'm gonna take them up on that because both of those shows I can quote everything from. This takes place in the Sun in Fun office park, and it's about Blake and Katie who inherited this rundown office park in rural Florida, and it's about the wacky tenants that take up this office park and the marginally sane handyman who also works for them. And rent is coming due, and can they turn a profit and avoid foreclosure? And or it says the lunatics will run the asylum.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds really interesting. It's a very I don't feel like anybody's ever done this concept. If it does truly feel like a Office or Parks and Rec type story, I'll be interested to check it out. And it's just a one shot, so maybe this could lead to more. But we've got our A cover right here. And then this one is the, I think it's pronounced Cacciatore.
Cacciatore.
Yeah. Cacciatore. So this is your interior artist.
Oh, nice.
You can see some of the crazy tenants there.
Next up is Where Monsters Lie, Cull-de-Sac, #1. So this is written by Kyle Starks, and the art is by Piotr Kowalski. Now this is a follow-up to the Where Monsters Lie series from a year or two ago that was about a gated community where like all of these like movie slashers and monsters and killers live. And so this is the sort of second volume of that. This takes place in another gated community where there's another group of slashers and monsters. There, Connor Hayes, you see him on the cover. He was one of the only survivors of the previous series, and he has been brought into this new community. But to help do what he did with the last one, he was, he's very. They established him in the last one as a kind of an expert on all of these killers and who they are and what they can do and how to deal with them. So they bring him into this new community. But this time it says, will he cooperate in taking out all the monsters? Maybe he doesn't really want to do that anymore. But it does say, what sort of bone-tingling secrets inhabit this new horror hamlet? So yeah, just if you enjoyed the first series, which I thought it was really, really good, violent and all kinds of wacky and all kinds of stuff, there is a whole new series coming. So this is our A cover by Kowalski, that's your interior artist, and there is a B cover by Christian Ward.
Very disturbing.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Nightwing Uncovered, #1. It's just a one-shot, and this is much like all the other Uncovered books that DC's been doing. This is a collection of some of the best covers and variant covers of Nightwing throughout the years. Not only the most recent series, but usually it goes back and shows some of the classic ones. It'll probably have like his first appearance cover in there, all of that. And usually it is narrated by the character or narrated by someone close to the character, something like that. So there's a little bit of a story. It's every, fourth or fifth page, there'll be a character in a speech bubble or something like that. So, but Nightwing's had some great covers over the years, especially all the Bruno Redondo covers and all of that. And some covers that were either like store exclusives that maybe you've never seen or high incentive variants. So if you want to get them all here, you're a big Nightwing fan, check it out. Plus, this has covers. We've got this A cover here by Dexter Soy, who is going to be the new artist on Nightwing when in October. We have a Salvador LaRocca variant. And we have this really cool Giuseppe Camuncoli variant, homaging Dick Grayson's first appearance.
Next up is Dead Eyes, The Empty Frames, #1. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries. This is written by Jerry Duggan, and the art is by John McCrae. Now, this is a follow-up to the Dead Eyes series from back in 2020. This is kind of like the next part to that. It's a pretty direct sequel because it says at the end of the first volume, the masked hood known as Dead Eyes, he picked up on a clue about the whereabouts of the paintings that were swiped in the largest private art heist in America. But can Deadeye and Wheels take down the score while avoiding the cops and the mafia both? So if you read the first series and you want more, definitely order this weekend. This is our A cover by John McCrae. That's your interior artist. And there's a Dave Johnson variant.
Next up, we got notable 2s and 3s, continuations of series, starting with X Factor #2. X Factor #1 came out this week, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was super cool and very, you thought it's going one way, and then we got a whole nother set of characters later on in it, and you have to read to find out how that happens. In this one, there is a new mutant rebellion, and Polaris is at the forefront of it. So, I don't think we saw her in the first issue.
She was in a page. She was talking to Alex.
Yeah.
But she didn't really, they were just like having a conversation. That was it.
So, it really seems like they're building Polaris up to be something. She's been on a lot of teaser images and all of that. I think she's going to play a big part in this new From the Ashes stuff. And how does she know so much about X Factor's missions, their secret missions they're going on? So Havoc must seek out a traitor on the team. Pretty interesting one there. So we've got our A cover for that. We have a Justin Mason variant, which is really cool. I love Havoc.
Yeah, and I like that look for him. That reminds me of the 90s X Factor, which I loved.
Yeah, usually it's like, oh, I love the classic costumes for people, not Havoc.
Right.
I do not like the weird swoop things. And we also have this Marcus Toe variant with Frenzy.
Well, this is Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood #2, continuing this anthology series of stories told in black and white with red splashes. But these are all about Spider-Man wearing the black suit, the symbiote suit. And this one just gives us 3 more stories. There's one by Greg Weisman, who is the current writer of Spectacular Spider-Man, which is fantastic. The artist by Javier Fernandez. And it says they take Peter and the symbiote to the bleeding edge. There was a story by Erica Schultz and Marcelo Ferreira where it says Spidey shows no mercy. And there's one written and drawn by Dan Jurgens. It says it's a new take on one of the most iconic chapters of Spider-Man's life. I don't know which one that is, but I definitely want to see Dan Jurgens doing some Black Suit Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So this is our A cover right here, and there is a Mitsuhiro Arita variant.
That one's cool. I like how it's just solid.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we got Spider Society #2. #1 just came out this week as we see the Sinister Squadron really do a number on the Spider Society. And now the Spider Society is quite a bit smaller as they are going after some key members that have been taken. And in this one, it doesn't say a whole lot. It just says in this series they're introducing new spiders, but also eliminating some. So maybe they'll keep their numbers kind of even with that. We've got our A cover right here. We have a Ferreira Spider-Man 2099 variant. And we have a Chris Anka variant.
Next is Venom War Venomous #2. #1 comes out next week. We'll be talking about it on Monday. But this one is the Black Widow one, right? This is about Black Widow and her place in the Venom War. But in this one, she is joined by Flash Thompson, who is Agent Anti-Venom, and also Liz Allen, who is Misery. And it says they're winning their battle. I'm not sure what battle that is. We'll know next week until they come face to face with, like we said before, a horde of zombiotes. So everybody's going to be fighting these things. And Black Widow is no different. So this is our A cover, and there is a David Lopez variant. I like that. Oh, I like the reflection. I just noticed that. Yeah, that's cool.
That's really cool. Okay, next up we got Werewolf by Night, Red Band Edition, Polybagged Edition, #2. #1 just came out this week. I thought it was really cool. There is only the Polybag Red Band version of this. There's no alternative. So, if you checked it out, you got the Polybag version. And in the first one, because of the blood hunt, the sky going dark, Jack Russell, when he became Werewolf by Night, usually he has it under control, but this time he had no memory of what happened when he transformed, and he found that maybe he had caused a massacre on the town where he lives now. And in this one, he is the prime suspect. And with his memories missing, he thinks maybe he really is the one who caused this. So it's up to his friends, which if you read the first one, you see a couple of extra characters that are in this, to find the truth behind this or to put him down if he really is the culprit of it. So really interesting one here, and I just love seeing more Werewolf by Night. We've got our A cover here, and we have a Segovia variant as well.
Next is DC vs. Vampires World War V #2. This is the sequel to the DC vs. Vampires series. #1 came out this week. And in this one, just like the overall crux of the story is that the peace between the vampires and heroes is wearing thin. But in this one, Lois Lane is going to try and negotiate a way to maintain a truce because Barbara Gordon wants Green Arrow and his folks to take out Damian Wayne, who is kind of leading a separate band of vampires. But Damian's relentless attacks on the vampire, the only thing that might be able to bring them together is a ... miracle. And miracle is capital M. So maybe Mr. Miracle? I'm not 100% sure, but that's what it is. Just, it highlights the word miracle, so can't wait to see what that is. So this is our A cover. We have a Casper Wingard variant. I love his work. And then a Lucio Perillo variant also with Black Adam. Interesting.
Next up we have the full title, From the DC Vault, Death in the Family, Robin Lives, #3 of 4. So not a whole lot of information about this one. It's just continuing the story of what if Jason Todd had lived instead of died by the hands of the Joker. And yeah, it looks like he's going to have more of his moments he's been having with Nightwing. kind of dealing with the trauma of everything that went on. And yeah, so if you're enjoying the series, we've got this issue and one more. This is our A cover by Rick Leonardi, your interior artist. And we have an Inyuk Lee variant, which I think is really
I like that
nice.
one a lot. Next is Jonny Quest #2. #1 came out this week. You read it and thought it was really good.
Yep.
In this one, Johnny and the gang travel to the other side of the world in hopes of gaining the help of a longtime ally. But a classic adversary launches another terrifying assault aimed at ensuring that Johnny and his family will never make it back home. So if you enjoyed the first one, definitely do not miss the second issue. This is our A cover by Hardin, and there is a Rainy cover.
Next up, we've got Red Before Black #2. #1 was really good. It's a very real world with a little bit of a twist, but we follow Val, who is looking to pick up a job being maybe in the crime world. She's teamed up with this other girl who she was originally supposed to kill, but it looks like they're going to be working together. But in this one, there's Val has a PTSD flashback that's going to explain more of her origin, how she got to this point, all of that. So if you enjoyed the first one, you'll definitely want to check this one out. This is our A cover, and we have a Dave Johnson variant as well. And next up, we got cool covers, and there's a bunch of these.
Starting with Avengers #18. The #17 is where Storm joined the team, and it was really good. Hyperion is threatening the Earth, basically, at the end of the last issue. He sent a message to Earth saying that I'm hurtling at Earth at like breakneck speed, and when I collide with it, it's going to, destroy it, basically. So this one sounds cool because now that Storm is on the team, it says that because of Hyperion's threat, Storm is going to have to call in some other mutants to help stop him, which I think is really cool. It says it's a who's who of the Marvel Universe as they unite against the power of Hyperion, and a team member who has been on the Avengers up till now leaves the team. Don't know who it is. I think it's Thor, but I might be wrong, so I'm not 100% sure yet.
You trade one lightning person for another.
Well, yeah, that too. Plus, there's I looked at some further covers. Future covers, and I don't think he's in them, or I saw some artwork or something that he wasn't there. So maybe it's Thor, maybe it's not. But we just wanted to show you this awesome Godzilla variant, and there is a David Marquez variant as well. I mean, that's going to be cool to see them.
I really like Hyperion, but man, what a messed up character. He's a member of the Avengers for a while.
Yeah.
He's up against them for a while.
Yeah. And it's cool because he the Heroes Reborn storyline from a couple years back, they're referencing that. He says, I had my world and then it was taken away from me, and if I don't have my world, but yet I don't belong here, then I don't want this world to exist either. That's why he's threatening the planet. And we also have Nick Fury dealing with a resurrected Phil Coulson in the Infinity Watch storyline, and there's references to that as well because Nighthawk is part of that.
Yeah.
So it's like, even though it was a couple years ago, they're still they're retreading this Heroes Reborn story, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, and if people have never read Heroes Reborn, it's actually really
It's pretty good, yeah.
Every issue is almost a standalone issue
Yeah.
on that. Very cool. Next up, we've got Incredible Hulk #17. Want to show us some cool covers, and in this, it starts a new story arc called Skin. And this has me intrigued because it says that the Hulk is heading to Vegas. Are we going to get Joe Fixit, the best version of Hulk there's ever been?
That would be cool.
But just wanted to show this really cool. This is the Bresson Godzilla variant.
Which Marvel, make that comic right there. Just make that one shot.
That'd be so good. And the Ian Bertram variant as well.
Those are some weird arms.
That's very weird arms.
Next up is X-Men #4. We have not yet got #3, but #2 came out this week and was awesome. I loved it. And this one, the very first sentence in the solicitation says, they kill for kicks and they kill for clicks. And this is about Trevor Fitzroy and the Upstarts. They start live streaming them murdering mutants, and the viewers are the ones who rate the kills.
Ooh.
So it almost sounds like a little bit like
Red Room or something.
Red Room mixed with X-Men. Sounds weird, but I think it's going to be cool. This has been a phenomenal series so far. So this is our A cover. We have a Chris Samney Godzilla variant, And there is a J. Scott Campbell Emma Frost variant, which all of these have been really cool.
I can't wait to read this. And the Juggernaut's been great in this.
Yeah.
Magic.
It's been wonderful.
It's been so good. Next up, we've got Star Wars Darth Vader number 50. This is the final issue of Darth Vader. This has been the longest running run of Darth Vader there has been since Marvel got the series. And this potentially could be the last ongoing Vader book we get for the foreseeable future, because this leads right up to Return of the Jedi. Vader dies there.
Well, spoilers, bro. Come on.
Yeah. Sorry. And the new stories they're going to be telling in Star Wars take place after Return of the Jedi. So there's no more Vader then. I'm really interested to see, are they going to continue the Star Wars main title and a second one? And what's that second one going to be? Because this has been since Marvel got the license so many years ago now that we've had a Darth Vader title.
It was like 2015. It's been 9 years. Yeah.
So wrapping up 9 years of Darth Vader stories.
Because we know what's next for the main Star Wars book, right? We know that there's a new one coming set after Return of the Jedi. So, yeah.
And, they've already done one of the runs of Darth Vader took place between episodes 3 and 4. So that basically covered his first years as Vader. We've seen basically his whole run as Vader. So who knows what's next, but it all culminates together right here. So I think this is really exciting and a little sad.
Yeah.
So this is our A cover for that. We have a Derek Chu Leia variant, which Leia wearing very bride
but
armor.
Armor?
I'm not sure what is going on here, but it's interesting. This is the connecting variant, so you can see right here. This is the Star Wars side of that, which we talked about for issue 50. And then on the other side is the Vader that connects. We also have the Sprouse Phantom Menace 25th anniversary variant. And we have the Rod Rice variant as well.
This is Ultimate X-Men number 7. And in this one, I think this might be the first appearance of this universe's Psylocke. Or maybe it's the first full appearance after a cameo in number 6. We haven't gotten number 6 yet, right?
No.
So it does say that the characters in this book, May, Hisako, and Nico. It says after the finale of issue number 6, May, Hisako, and Nico need some guidance. And the mysterious Quanon is an older student with a surprising amount of expertise. So I don't want to say for sure that this is Psylocke's first appearance in this universe. Because she might pop up in number 6. I don't know. But it's one of her first appearances. Yeah. We haven't seen her so far. So it's cool that she's going to be part of the team as well. So this is our A cover. We have a Mike Del Mundo variant. There is a Peach Momoko variant, which, she does the A cover as well. And there's a Wes Craig connecting variant.
Very interesting. Next up, we got Absolute Power Task Force 7, number 6 of 7, the penultimate issue. And in this one, Amanda Waller takes her Amazo robot known as Paradise Lost up against the Amazons of Themyscira. So this is going to be a really interesting one. I feel like this is another one of the really powerful of the Task Force 7 Amazos. So really cool one here that, we're getting close to the end of this, and around this time we'll be getting close to the end of Absolute Power before we move on to absolute everything coming up.
All in.
So we've got our A cover right here. We've got a Lee Erickson Lee variant. We've got a Kari Randolph variant. We've got a Stephen Platt variant with Wonder Woman with very strong wide shoulders. We have a John Timms variant. And I love Animal Man so much. I'm like, do I get the one where he looks dead on the cover?
Right.
I don't know. And we have the Dan Mora foil variant as well.
I love those ones. Next up is Green Lantern number 15. This is still an Absolute Power tie-in. Hal needs to recharge his ring, but the entrance to where the power battery is on it's on another continent. It's way far away from him, and it's really cool because it says Amanda Waller's Amazo robots, they're patrolling the skies, so Hal is going to have to ride into the danger zone. Just like they capitalize that, like Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone, in the Batplane to get where he needs to go. So the cover of number 14 showed him in the Batplane. He didn't actually get in the Batplane in that one, so I'm guessing that it's going to be very Top Gun. He's going to get in the Batplane and just fly off. I'm gonna read this while listening to the Top Gun soundtrack. Yeah, so this should be really cool. So this is our Nicholas Scott Artist Spotlight variant, and there's a Jose Luis Garcia Lopez and Joe Prado Hispanic Heritage Month variant with Kyle Rayner.
Next up is Space Ghost number 5. I'm really excited about this one. This has been one of the parts I've been most anticipating in this series because Zorak and the Cult of Lokar are going to be in this one as Space Ghost and friends have to go up against him. And it says something's going to happen that's going to stick with the heroes for a long time to come. But, you know, once again, Space Ghost Coast to Coast rears its ugly head inside my mind.
Whoa, don't say ugly head. It's a wonderful head. Yeah,
it's a wonderful head. But this is the Jay Lee variant, which is awesome with a very traditional looking Zorak. And there is a Haster homage variant to, of course, Ninja Turtles number 1.
Very cool. Next is Transformers number 12. We got 11 this week, and it was awesome. And this one says almost nothing, except for the fact that this is the end of the second story arc, not the series, just the second story arc. And it says the fate of 2 worlds is decided here as the Autobots and Decepticons make choices that will change the universe forever. So it's been building in this new story arc, so I can't wait to see how it all ends. And this is our A cover by Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer.
It's got to show how good the A covers are for this. Optimus with his Megatron arm.
Yep.
So
because
cool.
Cybertron is encroaching on Earth.
Yeah.
And that's going to be awesome.
Next up, we got graphic novels and more. Very excited about one of these, Revival Compendium. So when I started reading comics on a regular basis, this was a new series at that time. This is by Tim Seeley, and the art's by Mike Norton. And if you've never read this, definitely check it out. So this is where Jenny Frison, I saw her work for the first time. She did a lot of the covers for this series. And this collects issues 1 through 47, plus the free Comic Book Day short story and the crossover with Chew. So that kind of shows you around the time frame this is coming out. And this is about a town in Wisconsin where the dead start coming back to life, but they're not zombies. They act normal. They come back and they go about their daily business, and it's really weird, and they can't die. So it turns into an investigation. Everybody's quarantined to the town. It's about also Officer Dana must uncover the killer of her sister, and it could be anyone alive or dead. But what's getting in her way? Her sister, who's now alive again. So it's just really, really cool. It's a really unique concept. Yeah. And like there's a part where like people think that the people are miracles, they come back. So they are trying to smuggle off parts of bodies out of the town because people think if they eat them or something, they're going to get immortality. It's really cool. It's kind of a crime noir type thing.
When this popped up, I was like, I've never heard of this, but when you started describing it, I have read some of this before, and it's really, really cool.
It's really cool. It's very unique. So it's not a zombie book.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a take on the kind of reanimated dead.
And this is the whole thing, right?
This is the whole thing.
Very cool.
1 through 47 plus miniseries, everything.
Is that Image?
Yes.
Nice.
This is Image. Okay. And it is only $59.99. It's a great deal.
Image has a lot of these compendiums that are full stories, and they're really, really nice books. They're a great way to get a full story for a good price.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be ordering this.
This is the Secret Wars Battleworld Omnibus. So we have the Secret Wars Omnibus coming later this year. I'm pretty sure it's later this year. That collects the main Secret Wars books, the main Secret Wars series from 2015, and some of the books, Avengers and New Avengers and stuff that lead up to it. This is kind of a companion to that because this collects a whole bunch of the Battleworld tie-in miniseries. You know, they had ones like, I think they had a Maestro one, a Civil War one, and, you know, it showed what was going on Battleworld. You know, it took... these stories as if those stories had continued on in other Earths, and they all got combined on Battleworld.
Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
I'll say out of all the big Marvel events, this probably had some of my favorite tie-ins.
Yeah.
The Maestro one is fantastic. Civil War is really interesting.
This is
Spider
where
Island had one.
Yeah, this is where Renew Your Vows comes from.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is going to be a really cool one to get. It's almost like, like a what if kind of thing where, you could almost forget about Secret Wars and just like, oh, I just want to read about stories that, didn't happen in the main Earth, but, they're like I said, like a what if. You could almost read it that way.
Is that where they had, was it Ghost Racers? And it was
I think so.
all of the Ghost Riders and other people with cars and stuff compete in like a wacky races style death race.
Yeah, so definitely check the website because it should list out everything that's in it. It was too much to write down because it was a whole big list of different little mini series that it collects. But I think this is going to be really cool. Just a nice collection of unique stories, I guess. So, and this is going to be $150 because it's one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, because there was a lot of tie-ins.
Yeah, so this is the standard edition cover that's available in bookstores everywhere. And then there is a direct market cover that is only available at comic book stores like ours. Yeah, there's an Age of Apocalypse one.
Apocalypse. There's a lot of X-Men
Yeah,
ones.
very cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one a lot.
Yes. Next up, okay, there is a lot of these, but Void Rivals #1 has reached a 10th printing, and they are celebrating hard for this.
And rightly so, because this is a great book.
It is a great book. It deserves... I mean, I feel like as Transformers goes along, the G.I. Joe books go along, people are like, I want to check out Void Rivals, and it keeps selling out of the #1. So check this out. There's a bunch of covers for this. So this is the A cover. This is by Dave Felici, your interior artist. We have one with just Derek, one with just Solila. We've got a Jason Howard Derek, which is cool because these were the covers they were doing for G.I. Joe and Transformers, but Void Rivals never had them.
Right.
Now Void Rivals has them.
It's one of the great regrets of my life that I haven't been collecting these covers for all the books because they're so cool.
There is the Solila one. I love Handroid in that one.
Yeah, Handroid's great.
We also have, this is the Andrea Milana variant. We've got this Daniel Warren Johnson variant, which is awesome. I feel like they made him even bigger in this.
Yeah.
We've got this EJ Sue with Handroid, one of the breakout stars of the book. We have the Andrea Bresson variant. And we have a Connor Hughes variant. So a bunch of them for the 10th printing.
Yeah, early in the series, there's not really a connection with G.I. Joe Transformers. It's its own thing. But now, where we're at now, they are starting to merge together a little bit. There is that connection there. But even so, regardless of the connection or not, it's a good story on its own. Yeah. Highly recommended for sure. And this is the Secret Wars, Marvel Superhero Secret Wars from 1984, #10 Facsimile edition. We just wanted to let you know if you've been collecting them all, then the next one is out. There's only 2 more after this one, and there is going to be a regular version, sketch cover, and a foil version of this.
This is one of my favorite covers. Yeah. Battle Damage Doom is the coolest thing.
So, #8, the Facsimile came out this week. Yeah. I got the foil version. Obviously, #8, it's going to look awesome. But I think this is my next most anticipated in foil, just because this is iconic, too. Yeah.
And that is it for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to head over to infinityflix.net. Right now, you can place your pre-orders. Reminder about that Missionary #1 if you want the Scotty Young or the Red Band edition. Send us an email at info@infinityflix.net to make sure you get on the subscription for that. We will take care of you. Make it super easy. It's like nothing changed. Also, we've got our show coming up Monday where we'll be going over all of the new books coming out. The big titles, their variants, all that good stuff.
And it's another big week full of big books.
It is.
Oh,
but it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And a reminder of our new show that we started, our Infinity Flux Letters page, and the second episode of that is going to be live on Wednesday. So come for that, or leave your questions in the comments of this video, any of the videos coming up, and we will try to answer them on the Letters page show. That's kind of what that one is all about. Yep. And try to join us live for that.
Yeah, because it's done live. We talk with you. We interact. These shows are more, just straightforward information. But in the Letters page, we'll actually talk with you.
You can see how big of doofuses we are
right.
when we're off script.
Yep.
So, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments also which of these books you're most looking forward to. See if it matches the ones we're most looking forward to. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.